Okay, so 10 minutes to go before 9 o'clock this morning is we get set for breakfast with the babies. We're here at Redshores Racetrack and Casino overlooking the legendary Charlottetown Driving Park. Beautiful Saturday morning. You're with Lee Drake along with Peter McPhee and Kurt Hughes. We're going to take you through the 17 sets this morning, Peter. And boy, it's nice to have the sunshine. There's not a speck of snow anywhere, and there's a lot of people talking about today's event.
Yeah, great to have it back. Like you said, 17 sets. Kurt Hughes is going to join us as well this morning, and we'll get a look at these young horses for the first time this year. They're going to be on the track. People already filing in here to the top of the park. Sold out here at the top of the park this morning, Lee. Excitement is in the air, and it's a perfect day to kick it off.
Now we're going to do some prize draws throughout the day for all the participants that are on the track, and a little later we'll have some prize draws for the sold-out top of the park. So folks are coming in right now. We're going to set up a couple of camera views for you today, and let's just set this straight. I know we have to do this every year. This is the third year for it. There is no starting gate. These are training sets.
Yes.
So horses come out. Most of the sets here today, Peter, are two. Usually two. There are a couple of sets here today with three, but these are not races. These are not qualifiers. These are strictly training sets.
Yeah, you won't see the starting gate out there. We'll pick up the horses and we'll identify the horses and the drivers and who they are. And we're going to talk about their breeding and, again, through the Atlantic Classic sale. So, again, yes, no starting gate. We'll pick them up at different spots on the racetrack, and we'll identify the horses and the drivers this afternoon and this morning.
So we have Kurt Hughes will be joining us remotely here very shortly. We'll check in with the control room there to see how that goes. But looks like the system is up and going here today for breakfast with the babies on this Saturday. All right, great shot of the historic center field. So there you go. There's the first set on the track this morning. Actually, that's 1 and 3, so that's not the first set. Peter, so underway this morning in Charlottetown today. Just a beautiful day as we set up for breakfast with the babies. Now these are training sets. Kurt Hughes will be joining us here shortly. And so we'll follow along here with saddle plans number 1 and 2 along with your program. And we have 2 youngsters ready to go. Wendell Gregory works with the Jason Hughes stable, and of course Jason Hughes will be, they have a busy afternoon as well. The busiest is Mike McGuigan, his stable. For today with a number of sets, 5 sets coming out, but we have the first set on the track.
Yeah, here we go, kicking it off on a beautiful Saturday morning here at Tobin's Chester. Wendell Gregory will be on Tobin's Chester, 2-year-old by Shanghai Phil here. And the 2-horse is Century Kalimba, and that's a 2-year-old filly by Sports Writer. We all know the Blue Knight Jason Hughes, and we'll see them about to train here. It'll be the first set with breakfast with the babies.
So what they're going to do is they're going to go out, they're going to jog a little bit, and then we'll pick them up at the top turn and be able to go with them. So we'll be tracking along with 1 and 2 is what we're looking for on the track here. All right, Peter, so here we go here with the first set today with breakfast with the babies on the backstretch. Beautiful day here today. Wendell Gregory on the inside, and he's got the 1-horse. That's Tobin's Chester, as you mentioned.
Yeah, owned by Donnie McRae. We all know Donnie, of course, great owner on Prince Edward Island. So he's the owner of Tobin's Chester, as you mentioned, Wendell Gregory. And I think we know the Blue Knight, don't we?
We know the Blue Knight.
Yeah.
Century Kalimba. Here, Tommy Collins of Mount Stewart. And he's the owner of this 2-year-old filly by Sports Writer. So they're getting ready to do their first set here today. Jason Hughes, 779 wins as a trainer, 1,840 wins as a driver, so he's only 160 away from 2,000. So it's great to have these horses tuned in. Our first set of 17 today with breakfast with the babies. We'll pick them up and let you watch in. All right, so there's a look at the two youngsters going this morning, breakfast with the babies. One of the things I love about this is their learning lessons. Their early learning lessons like this, Peter, they both look very confident here, very relaxed as they get into that first turn and head down the backstretch. And obviously they've decided here that Tobin Chester is going to be the one to cut this mile.
Yeah, I like the fact that you can see Jason had that young horse, the 2 there, the filly by Sports Rider, just on the outside, then tucked her in. And you can see, as you mentioned, Tobin's Chester's going to cut this. Jason sits in behind. Tobin's Chester is the 2-year-old colt by Shanghai Phil. Now, Shanghai Phil, pretty good career. 42 lifetime starts, 12 wins, 6 seconds, 3/3, over 600,000 in the bank. So this horse is well bred, and a mile of 150 and 2 at age 8 at Woodbine for Shanghai Phil. The 2 horse, like we mentioned, is the filly for Jason, Sports Rider. What a career for Sports Rider. 14 lifetime starts, 8 wins, Lee, and over 1.6 million in earnings, 148 and 3. So again, quite a career for Sports Rider.
And that filly sold for $42,000 at the London Classic yearling sale in Ontario. So there you go. They're in set here, and there's a leader change.
Yeah, that's it. Again, they're just learning. Jason tucked her in early on, made a little bit of a move there, and cleared up past the 1, and now is on the front. And they're just learning, like you say, sitting in the 2-hole, moving out around, now going to be on the front. And this horse is in behind now, seeing a horse pass and learning again that this horse now has to sit in behind the one on the lead. Looking pretty good here, Lee. Again, very impressive the first set out here this morning. They're picking it up a little bit here.
They are picking it up a little bit, and you should see them both land on the wire together here. Wendell's probably going to move out here and get up alongside here as they come through. Very, very confident looking. Look great in this early going here with breakfast with the babies, and what a way to start off set number 1 today. There they go. They finish at the line together.
Tight finish and a real nice way to start the day.
Wendy Gregory's been around horses for a very long time and on the track, handles a horse well. And, of course, we talked about the Blue Knight. Now, there's an interesting tie-in here, and we're trying to get a hold of Kurt. He's got just some technical issues that they're trying to work out here. But Danny McDonald is coming up in the next set here, set number 2.
Yeah.
And he's going to be aboard 2-year-old filly by Osprey Explosion. And Danny and Jason Hughes started the driving career around the same time, 92, 93.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and listen to this. So they had, when I was talking last night, so Danny, we'll see in the second set, had one of his first wins with Sample Girl, and Jason also had one of his career wins, if not his first, with the same horse, and Kurt's grandfather, Jim Hughes, had that mare.
Wow.
And always willing to help out the young guys. And you look at them 31 years later, and there they go.
Yeah,
so
they're both very successful. Neat story.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5.
So here comes set number 2 here, the Trotters here today, and Osprey Explosion, Danny McDonald, and Pay Me My Money. Now, Kenny Arsenault, that is the right horse. It's the wrong saddle pad. He's got the one on, but it's actually the right horse. So these two sets ready to go, gentlemen.
Yeah, and I think we have Kurt Hughes joining us. Kurt, are you there?
I am here, and I just
Excellent.
heard that story about Sample Girl, Danny Jason. Yes, it was both. They both got their first win aboard Sample Girl. She could follow the car right out of there. Got the
certainly
boys out of
could.
trouble.
So, well, Danny's on the set here right now. He's on the inside with Offspray Explosion. This is a 2-year-old filly here. Was a $22,000 purchase in the Atlantic Classic yearling sale. The filly's from the first Atlantic crop of EL Rocket. And out of the former CDP record holder, Offspray Impact. So very green filly, Danny was telling me, but they're looking pretty good out there. Kenny's going to the front here, Kurt. So if you want to tell us a little bit about the training tactics here that the guys are using for this set.
Well, I used to train a lot with Kenny, so I know what he's up to out here. He always likes to get the job done in these training trips. He doesn't take any training trip off. So he's going to try to control things here. But no, he's just rating them. They're just trying to teach them what they got to do and how to do it. He moved to the front there. He may let Danny go and come back around, just teaching them how to race, do their business.
Peter, let's talk a little bit about Pay Me My Money. I love that name.
Yeah, Pay Me My Money is a 2-year-old filly by EL Rocket. Now, EL Rocket had a nice career, 35 starts, 7 wins, over 243,000. Took a mark of 53-1 at Vernon Downs at the age of 3. And as you can see, that's a nice horse. And as they are getting set here for set number 2. And Kurt, just talking about Kenny and what a career he's had. Looking up at stats last night, 3,335 wins as we pick up the spring meet again this year. Kurt, he started in 1984. He's 40 years in the bike, and 15 times he's had over 100 wins. It's been quite a run for Kenny.
Yeah, it has been quite a run. Back in the 90s and that, he was kind of like what Mark Campbell's doing now. That's what he was doing back then. And he just continues year after year to put up good numbers. And he's been a great driver and a class act guy, too.
Absolutely. I know in the mid-2000s there, he reeled off 4 straight 100-win seasons. He had over 400,000 one year, so he knows what he's doing on the racetrack. And like I said, 40 years in the bike in 2023.
Well, only 61 wins away, guys, from 1,000 training victories. So as you said, he and even when he's training for the coffee here too, he's not going to lose. So as we get set here today for this, now in 2020, the board of PEI HRH Harness Racing Industry Association identified the need to have a commercial trot stallion standing on PEI to continue to encourage the growth and development of the trot industry in PEI and the Maritime provinces. So a group of 7 owners, you see these land on the line here today. They look great too. There's set number 2 in the books. But a group of 7 owners in support of the Harness Racing Industry Association purchased EL Rocket, and the stallion bred 33 mares on PEI in 2020 and will have his first crop of foals hit the ground. Of course, racetrack here as 2-year-old. So little backdraft on that.
And guys, if you notice getting under the wire, whose nose hit the line first? Mr. Arsenault's.
That's right.
So there's a bit of a moving targets out here today, gentlemen, as we cruise along. I mean, the camera crew's doing their best to pick up the horses, and sometimes they switch drivers on us, which we just found out. So if your program reads on your next set that's coming out, Roll with Reese, was scheduled to be Adam Murner, but Adam's now on the 6, My Pet Monster, and Jody Hennessy will take the 5. And they're on the track here now, and they're going to make their turn here before too long. But another great set here as we roll along on a beautiful Saturday morning in Charlottetown.
And Kurt, I know you know Jody Hennessy very well. You talk about a guy that's found the winner's circle a lot in his career. It's Jody.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he had the burn there with the old burns, he kept it spit and polished clean. All his gear, I mean, there wasn't a speck of dust on it. He ran a tight ship.
Well, I got to tell you guys, Jody's got 2,071 career wins, so he spent many years at Exhibition Park Raceway in St. John. I know we, as a family, had a horse with him, and he's just a great connect. Well, the whole Hennessy family is very, very good with their ownership connections and keeping everyone up informed of what they do. So they just absolutely have a passion for the sport like no other. And there's a look at your 6 there right now. That's Adam Murner on the bike there. So they're connecting together. And I will say this. So Adam's got and Melissa Rennie, who's coming off a career year as a trainer, 61 victories in 22. So they got a really strong stable there. And they got some great people around it, Peter. So you have Jody Hennessy in there. And this morning I ran into Ricky McPhee.
Oh, yeah, I know him, yeah.
And Ricky's, of course, down there. So you got a lot of great experience. Ricky sat behind some great horses over the years. And he told me this morning on the way into the broadcast, he said, Lee, you see a couple of horses, youngsters that sort of stand out, and now he said you can look anywhere, and they're all looking fantastic. He thinks it's going to be a fantastic stakes season.
I would agree with him. I mean, and I know Kurt knows Ricky as well. Kurt and Ricky were both in Ontario. Kurt and Ricky worked with a lot of nice trainers and owners in Ontario as well.
Yeah, he did. He worked for Carl Jamieson there back when I was in Ontario in the mid-2000s, and they had a lot of nice stock. I recall when Ricky was there. And then Ricky did some work with the stable.ca and Anthony McDonald as well.
That's right. And we get a look at the 6 here. Yeah, this is Adam Murner. And Kurt, we got to touch on Adam. He just continues to climb the ranks. I was looking at his stats last night. 2020, 112 wins. 2021, 89. And he was right there again last year with 90. He's got a terrific barn. And Adam certainly knows how to drive as well.
Yeah, they're always ready to go when Adam puts them on the track. Adam and Melissa Rennie. They're a great team. And Murner, he's got a nice set of hands. I always enjoy watching him drive, and he's one of my favorites to watch. He's got a lot of talent since coming over here from Nova Scotia.
So let's set up the horses with their owners and their trainers and their drivers, of course, and if they give us the key information, that's why April Myers, our assistant manager of racing broadcast, is in the stable area and will give us a heads up. Oh, they're going to switch here, so... And, of course, they're doing that. So roll with Reese. Let's go there with Adam Murner, Wade McDonald, Tyler Link. They have a great ownership team there, and the breeder, Wade McDonald. So nice connection there with this 2-year-old filly by Roll with It Harry. Yeah,
Roll with Reese, 2-year-old filly by Roll with It Harry. You mentioned Roll with It Harry, nice career, 149 lifetime starts. He had 26 wins, 21 seconds, 15 thirds. He took a marker to 50-1 at the Meadowlands at age 3 and up over 600,000 in earnings. So he's a real nice racehorse.
I want to thank Nick Oakes for providing us with some background information there. My Pet Monster is from the first crop, Atlantic crop of Shanghai Phil. Registered breeder is Robin Burks, Berkey by the Bay stable. The colt was foaled out and raised by Paul Meredith Walker in Dona before being sold privately. So there's the set. They're on the track, and they're coming next.
So I think we have Kurt back here, Lee. And Kurt, it looks like Jody is going to the front here. Adam was on the outside a little bit, but decided to tuck in here early going.
Yeah, Jody going with My Pet Monster here, 2-year-old gelding by Shanghai Phil. And then Adam's in the pocket with Roll with Reese, a filly by Roll with It Harry. And Adam's had success with Roll with It Harry's. We all recall Mr. Kelly and the great barn he had that year as well.
Well, they did a switch on us here, Kurt. So yeah, Jody's leading on the point there, as you said. So They switch it up, but they look really, really good. That's one of the things that you have pointed out in the past with these breakfasts with the babies. You know, they learn so much every time they step on the racetrack. They're learning each and time out, and another set here that looks very, very encouraging here in their young early lessons.
Yeah, it does seem like they're well developed, Kurt, already. I mean, it's early stages here, but the first 3 sets we've seen this morning, the horses look terrific.
They sure do. Jody on the front there, checking the watch, coming to the half, rating his mile. But the one in the 2-hole, really sharp looking, that Murder's sitting behind right now. They're pretty good size.
Kurt, Adam just biding his time here in the 2-hole. Is he looking to make a move here late?
Yeah, he's getting revved up. He's getting this young one, just getting them on the bit, getting ready to make his move here around the last turn.
Yeah, it looks like the nose is
they're
out there
going to
now.
rock and roll down the stretch. Yeah, they're going to rock and roll here down the stretch a little bit. Let them stretch out a bit. I'm interested to see how Shanghai Phil does here. He's had quite a career as well as a sire. You know, horses like Duke d'Orleans, Champagne Phil, a lot of really classy campaigners.
Great finish there again in set number 3. That was Roll with Reese and My Pet Monster to conclude set number 3.
All right, so our next set on the track here, we found the 8 in your program with Breakfast with the Babies here today. And this is from the Mike McGuigan stable here today. And I was talking to Mike last night, Peter and Kurt, and they have a busy day here today because they're sending out a lot of horses. They're in a number of sets here, and they're getting ready for their first set that's coming out here today. And a very busy stable, and a lot of people that work with them, and ownership groups that are in the top of the park. I think Mike told me last night there's close to 20 people in the top of the park here today from that trainer stable. So something else.
It's really grown the last few years. Mike has a lot of nice owners. He's developed a lot of nice horses, Kurt, and he sent them away and got some nice prices for them over the last few years.
Yeah, he sure has. He's been doing a great job since taking over the stable from his dad, Barney, and. Like you said, he's been getting some nice prices for his graduates after they're done in their 3-year-old career.
All right, let's set up this group here because we have Glenn Dunn on the inside. His assistant trainer has been with Mike now for about 9 years, and Mike McGuigan on the outside. So you got I'll Bet You, I'll Beat You, and Roll Your Coin.
Yeah, I'll Bet You, I'll Beat You. 2-year-old filly by Control the Moment. Glenn Dunn is in the seat today, and Control the Moment, 18 starts, 12 wins lifetime, won the Metro 49-4 for Randy Waples, up over 1.2 million, and 148-2 for Mark. So Control the Moment, excellent sire. Boy, they're going here really, Kurt.
Yeah, they are going. They're pacing right along around that first turn. One thing about Mike Stock, he races when he trains. and they seem to always be right on the iron. If you can see Mike ducking in the 2-hole there now, he's
Yeah.
got this one revved up.
You know, it's funny, Kurt. There's different strategies for trainers along the way, but I think even when you talk to Mike, he says he goes pretty hard early.
Yeah, he does go pretty hard early, and they're ready to rock come the 1st of July.
Yeah.
Well, they're really high on these horses here today that they put out in the track, and I'll beat you by Control the Moment was raised by Linda Ramsey and Stephen Johnson of King Cora and sold for $14,000 Atlantic Classic sale, and a great tie-in there because Heather Sheen and her husband Mark, first-time owners. They contacted Mike through his brother Billy, of course the hockey coach there at the Caps who does a great job in Summerside, went to the sale, made this purchase, so welcome to the ownership ranks, and I know they're pretty excited here today, as you would be, to see your horses competing with Breakfast with the Babies.
Yeah, Roll Your Coin is the horse, 2-year-old filly by Roll With It Harry. We talked about Roll With It Harry, and this horse was purchased for $26,000 at the Atlantic Classic sale. And again, Kurt, it looks like Mike may be able to sit in the 2-hole here, and he may make a move late again.
Yeah, he's getting ready to pounce on Glenn here. But this one that Mike's going with, a nice big look and Roll With It Harry horse. And revved up, racy too. And the one Glenn's driving, the Control the Moment, he's been a nice sire. I remember him on the track winning the Metro, as you mentioned there. I think Brad Maxwell was the trainer. Randy Waples drove him. He was a nice looking horse.
Yeah, and he was third too in the NA Cup, Kurt, but the betting line.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So roll your coin, as you can see coming through. Tom Hollis and Wayne Burley out of Truro, Nova Scotia, tuned in this morning. Here they come in the line.
Great shot by UMI. Yeah, great finish.
That's a sharp looking set right there.
Yeah, big time.
Like I said, I was talking to Mike last night over through a number of the sets, and they're very high on what they have here right now. They have a lot of great owners, big investments. Horses are looking good in the early stages, and he was pretty excited. I mean, he's the busiest stable on the grounds here today with Breakfast with the Babies. The Hughes stable is sending out the second most sets, but he's got 5 sets here today, and that's a lot of horses going on.
He's a top-notch horseman. Like we said, the last few years, he's developed some really nice stock, and they've got some nice prices for the horses, and they've done very well here. Kurt, Mike's really shot up the ranks here. He's doing very well.
Yeah, we all remember that trotter he had, the great Getting Messy.
Getting Messy,
Boy,
yeah.
could he go.
Yeah. And I also got a note here from Gail McDonald. I want to mention the PEI Standardbred Horse Owners Annual Awards Banquet. It's going to be held next Saturday, April 29th at the Charlottetown Hotel. They're nearly sold out, so Gail's just saying tickets are available, just a few left. You can get them from members or at the Charlottetown Vet Clinic. So again, the PEI Standardbred Horse Owners Association Annual Awards Banquet next Saturday night at the Charlottetown Hotel. Tickets, you can still get them. There's just a few left from members or at the Charlottetown Vet Clinic.
All right, so one of the 2 of the 5th set, Breakfast with the Babies, out on the track here right now. There's a look at the 10. This is Tobin's Barn Party. Wendell Gregory, again with the Jason Hughes stable here today. He's going to handle Tobin's Barn Party, a 2-year-old by Shanghai Phil. Donnie McRae. Wendell Williams is the breeder of Ellerslie. So we'll track the 10, and we're looking for the 9. Okay, so we talked about the 10, and guys, there's the 9 from the Jason Hughes stable here today. Another busy stable here. This is set number 5 we're working on. She's just misunderstood.
Yeah, that's the 2-year-old filly by Malicious, and you talk about a career for Malicious. 138 lifetime, 29 wins. It was a winner of the Elim of the Metro, 52-1 at Mohawk for Paul McDonnell back in 2009. Up over 800,000 life. So just a real nice horse was Malicious, Kurt.
Yeah, he sure was, and he throws a handsome horse. My goodness, they look good on the track. Every single Malicious I think I've ever seen, they just look like beautiful animals on the track.
So Donnie McRae here, he's the owner of both of these fillies, filly and colt here on the track here. So it's going to be interesting. He's invested so much in the sport, and just a great guy. And if you look at what he does on the track, he does just as much or more off the track as well. So the 2 horses here this morning, breakfast with the babies and the Hughes stable. We'll track along with them here a little bit, and when they're ready to go, we'll pick them up when they turn to go their training trip here today. Now, we do have some prizes. Let me roll through some winners, okay?
Okay.
So every set that any ownership group that's in the sets here today, we made some draws, and we're going to give out some prizes. And if you hear your name, we have the prizes here in the top of the park. And if you're not here today, then we'll leave them in the race office for you. So set number 1, the winner is Tommy Collins. You get a Redshores hat. Set number 2, the winner is Sean McIsaac. Picks up the top of the park. Wade McDonald picks up a gift certificate from Turfs from set number 3. And Heather Sheen, that first-time owner we're talking about. Good for you. You pick up a $20 Redshores gift certificate. Well, we did have a plan here today to talk about some of the many things that came out on the industry AGM. If you didn't see that on the industry association, but the way things are rolling with the sets here and the trainers coming out on the track as quickly as they are, we have a tough time just keeping up with the action as they roll here today. So
yeah, it's been bang bang, but again, we'll get to some announcements, Lee. It's all very positive news coming in towards the season here, the spring meet in a couple of weeks on May the 6th. So we'll get to it, but we'll watch set number 5 here.
yeah, set number 5 getting go here with their training session and breakfast with the babies here at Charlottetown today. So on the inside, that is Tobin's Barn Party. Both of these horses owned by Donnie McRae, by the way. And
This filly on the outside that Jason's going with by Militia's at a Bonnie Mock. We all remember her racing Open Mares winner here. She was a nice big Mach 3 mare, and Militia's, he throws them big. Wow, is this filly a beautiful creature. Holy moly.
Kurt, Bunny Mock was owned by Donnie as well?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So Donnie's got a lot of connections in this race. He owns both of these horses and then owned the mare Bunny Mock as well.
yeah, and
That's right.
it was the breeder on the 9 here. So here they go. Let's have a look at them.
And owns Tobin's Party, the 3-year-old brother to Tobin's Barn Party, the one Whistle's going with here.
Well, one thing we don't have on them today is a watch, but they look like they're stepping it out here and looking really good. And as they make their way off the top turn here, on the way to the half, and it looks like Jason's going to make a move here, and this is probably going to be a leader change.
Kurt, you trained with Jason.
Yeah, he likes to make that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You trained with Jason a lot. So what are his tactics and what is his strategy with the early goings of the horses here?
Well, this is a new thing since I graduated from the Jason Hughes stable, but he likes to make that middle move there at the half in recent years, and just kind of changing hands, letting the young horse kind of realize that you make a couple moves in a race, and typically when the Blue Knight's in the bike in a race, they do make a move or two. So he's getting them trained and ready for that. Another
guy that likes to be kind of aggressive, Kurt, would you say?
Yeah, and he likes to be right where he is right now.
Yeah,
right on the
I
boiler.
thought so. Yeah. And again, Kurt, like
Wally called it. I remember talking to Wally Hennessy recently, and he said, I kind of like the smoker, which is the gate. It's burning off the gate. But
that's right.
Yeah, I remember that interview you did with him, Lee. Right on the smoker, he likes him.
Yeah, virtual tack room. He was talking about that. Yeah.
That's right.
Kurt, and Jason's come a long way. From the early goings, developed himself here at the track, but now he's got a barn full of horses and some terrific owners.
Oh my goodness, he's got 20-some horses down there. I just don't know how he does it. He's got a great staff. Whistle here on the outside coming at the wire. Another thing, Jason, we were over my parents' place for dinner there last week, and he was just mentioning how much he loves his 2-year-old stock this year, and he likes that one on the outside. Whistle's going with Tobin's Barn Party and this filly on the inside.
Well, another great set here today for breakfast with the babies, and for those of you who are tuned in today, we do appreciate that as well. And it's a moving target here today with horses coming out, and we're getting some notes from the barn area here. So we got a change in our next set. Note to the control room here too. So Greg Weatherby's coming out. He's scheduled to wear the 1 on set number 2, but he's not. He's wearing the 6. And but it is the right horse, and Village on Fire is Kenny Arsenault. They're coming out in the next set here too, so they wrapped up here, and we'll be picking them up in just a minute. And just like that, we're underway with the next set here today. We had 17. I don't know if someone said we should roll them as quickly as we can, but...
Kurt, can you fire in a boom there?
Yeah, a big boom just like that. We were talking to Vance the other night.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
All right, guys, let's set up these
sets are
two
rolling.
youngsters here. Greg Weatherby's got the 1 here, and Kenny Arsenault on the... I'm sorry, he's got the 6, And Kenny's got the 2.
Yeah, so SAR's Piece of Heaven, 2-year-old filly by Sar Sealster, 177 starts. We all remember Sar Sealster. He was a nice horse here, 35 wins. He was a 2018 Governor's Plate winner for Kenny Arsenault in 53-2, and his record was at Mohawk as a 5-year-old in 51. So Sar Sealster was a really nice racehorse here on the Island, Kurt.
Absolutely. Kenny got along really well with him, and Weatherby did a great job with him, too, bringing him home. He was a classy campaigner, and like you say, winning the Governor's Plate there. That was a real nice win for the group.
And James Roach McGregor in 2018
That's right.
season. So here they are here, and let's get a little bit on A Village on Fire.
Yeah, Wade Piccone, we all know Wade, a great owner, has a lot of nice horses over the years. 2-year-old filly by Arthur Blue Chip. Arthur, 38 lifetime starts, 14 wins, up over 500,000 in earnings, 50-1 his record. Was taken to Pompano. Wally Hennies was in the bike in 2015 when Arthur Blue Chip took his record.
Arthur Blue Chip, successful here in the Maritimes. He had 2 of the best there last year with Our Girl Annie and Walter Walker's colt, the Fisherman's Son. He was a real nice colt as well.
So this is the set number 6 here today of 17. We have 2 more pacers coming up here, and then we have the trotters from the McWigan stable that we'll be featuring as well.
And Kurt Kenny's on the front here again. What's going to happen? What's your prediction here?
Well, it looks like Weatherby's all business here.
Yeah.
He shot out of that 2-hole. He looks like he's going to go right around. Kenny better get his mount on its toes here as they straighten out for the stretch.
Again, another great-looking set, Kurt. I mean, I'm very impressed with the way these horses have developed already.
Oh, these babies nowadays, it's just incredible. They're just born like racehorses. They know what to do the first day you put the harness on them. It's not like the old days of breaking carts and trying to get them broken. Trade.
Oh my gosh, I know
I
that.
have a lot of memories.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And the other thing is that they see everything. Like these horses are so smart, but they see everything. And some of them, they don't get around the water truck very often, or they're not out around the drag as much. And next thing you know, they're through the center field. And so, you really have to be careful with them. And we have so many horses on the grounds here, and they do such a great job. And they're looking really, really good today. I can't say enough about, as you guys just mentioned, about how these youngsters look, their training sets, and they've been out in all kinds of weather, and people sometimes forget that. It's a beautiful day here today, but they've been out, prepping these horses for a long time, for many months.
That's a great point. Through a lot of different weather over, of course, the winter months. And, kudos to everybody for having them ready today and getting a peek at them. Breakfast of the babies.
So set number 5, the winner there. It's really not hard because Donnie owned both of them, so he's going to win a prize. He's got the top of the park. And set number 6 just went out. Wade Piccone, you're a winner with the top of the park. So you can get them here in the top of the park over at our broadcast location. And if you're not here today, we will move them down to the race office, and you can stop by and pick them up when you get a chance. All part of Breakfast with the Babies here today. So here we go with the next set that's on the track here now, and there's a look at the 3. Can he see me? And Nick Oakes is the trainer, and will be handling this 2-year-old here today by he's watching, and Doug Matheson, also the owner as well. And if you look at some of the, well, first of all, we want to thank Nick for helping us out with some of the backdraft on the information. But Kenny Seamy is a son of He's Watching that was purchased $20,000 at the London Classic yearling sale and gets into this set here today with Adam Murner handling High Roller.
Yeah, Kenny Seamy, like you mentioned, Doug Matheson is the owner, and kudos for Doug for getting into the game. He's made a huge investment the last couple of years into the racehorsing game, and again, we want to say thanks to Doug for that. He's got Kenny Seamy here. Nick Oakes will do the training, and Nick Kurt has done very well the last couple of years on the training ranks. I was looking at the stats last night. 120 starts. He had 14 wins last year, up over 80,000 in earnings, and the batting average was 275. He had a really nice year, Kurt.
He sure did, and his stock continues to improve. He's got a real nice place there out in Warren Grove, I believe, and I put a track in, and he's got a nice little barn there. So he's doing great things, and I have to take the credit, though, for getting him rolling.
You do? What's the backdraft there?
Yeah, well, we got a little trivia question. Who helped get Nick Oakes' first training victory?
Oh,
I'll give you a hint. You're talking to him.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, we just wanted to let it go a little bit, but yeah, that's good.
Yeah. What was the horse, Kurt?
Right.
Do you remember?
Her name was Atoy DH. Atoy DH. She was a Quebec-bred mare, and Todd Scott. I don't know, you guys know Todd Scott. He was the trainer, and Nick was co-owner along with Todd.
All right.
Oh.
So Kenny Seamy, Doug Matheson, Atlantic Racing Seamy Group, and that's the 3 and the 4. Let's do a little spotlight there on the 4 as well. And there's look at Adam Murner with
High Roller.
High Roller.
Yeah.
And K-Mac Stables, Stanhope, Corey Livingston, Village Green. Doug McPhee is the breeder out of New Haven. So obviously some great success over the years. But these two are going to hook up here for set number 7.
Yeah, High Roller is the 2-year-old filly by Big Jim. And Kurt, I know you know Big Jim well. I'll reel off some stats for Big Jim. I was looking him up last night. Wow. 20 lifetime starts, 10 wins, 3 seconds, 4 thirds. So he was 17 for 20 life, 1.5 million made, 149 and 1. He took a mark as a 2-year-old at Woodbine. He won the Dream Maker, the Champlain, the Breeders' Crown, and the Governor's Cup. He was 3rd in the NA Cup to up the credit, and he won the Meadowlands Pace. Kurt, I don't know if he could have a better sire than Big Jim.
Yeah, he's a great sire, and I knew the owner, Jim Curry, had passed away. He was from Hamilton, Ontario, and when Big Jim was racing as a 2- and 3-year-old, Jim Curry reached out to me. It was shortly after my injury, and we spoke pretty well. He called me after every time Big Jim would race, and so I got to ride along with Big Jim and his success. Phil Houdon driving, and it was great that Jim reached out to me, but it was cool to follow along with Big Jim. He was a big, handsome horse, and he had a ton of success on the track.
He sure did. He was a beautiful horse. I remember him as well, Kurt. Just a terrific racehorse.
Well, they purchased this 2-year-old filly for $16,000 Atlantic yearling sale, Atlantic Classic yearling sale, which is getting ready to, of course. Again, I think we have a board that we could probably call up if we get a chance, Matt, on the Atlantic Classic sale. And when it's coming up, you got 2 years of records.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can put it.
Well, it's been terrific, Lee. Like you said, the last 2 years have been outstanding. There it is there. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. October the 6th this year, Crapo Exhibition Ground. It's going to be at 12:30 this year, and entries open from May the 1st to the 31st, 5 p.m. deadline on the 31st. You can enter your consignment online, piharnessracing.ca/forums, or you can call 902-569-1682, visit AtlanticClassic.com. Kurt, it's just been terrific the last couple of years, and wow, it's been terrific for the racing product in the Maritimes.
Absolutely. It just speaks to the quality. You got to give a shout out to all the breeders bringing in great mares and just the level of talent that the Atlantic sires have produced over the last few years. It's catapulted into another level. They can race with the best in the world now.
And, of course, when we do our show prep and we do our boards and we do all of our stuff, we sort of tie them all together. So Nick Oakes is the chair of the Atlantic Classic Sale. Julie Jameson and their team, there's a committee of them. Julie Jameson, the executive director of the Harness Racing Industry Association. Some great work there, and the numbers don't lie. So there they have lining up here. There's a look at them right now, getting ready to go for their set. Let's watch them as they come through the stretch with Breakfasts with the Babies here today at Charlottetown.
Nick on the inside here with one by He's Watching. It looks a little on the small side, but if you recall, he's watching who campaigned for Dave Maneri, took a mark of 46 there at the Meadowlands. He was also a really small horse, but he had a big motor.
Yeah, I was looking him up last night too, Kurt. It's really interesting to look up the sires. He's watching 21 lifetime starts, 13 wins from 21 starts, up over 1.1 in earnings, up over 1.1 million. And like you mentioned, it is a 3-year-old, 146-4 at the Big M.
Yeah, that was incredible. I remember that race. And the 4 high roller in the 2-hole here for Adam Murner, filly by Big Jim. This is a beautiful looking filly at a Diana Santana, and the breeder Doug McPhee. He's had a little bit of success with Big Jim fillies.
I think so, Kurt. There's a horse in Toronto that's racing pretty well.
Yeah, having a modest career, not a bad little career for her.
We're talking about so much more, and Kurt, you talk about a horse that's not very big, but has full of heart, up over $1 million for in earnings for so much more. What an incredible story for Doug McPhee to have that kind of horse racing in Canada.
Yeah, that mare that he had, the Real Artist mare, the brood mare of all those great ones that he's produced out of his farm, but so much more. She has an unbelievable will to win. She's not very big, but you can tell down the stretch when she's coming down the stretch, it's just all guts. She's just got a will to win. It's all her.
So we'll just set them up here once again here, and then we'll just let this breathe a little bit. But Can He See Me? Nick Oakes on the lead there right now. And the 2-year-old filly High Roller by Big Jim with Adam Murner and trainer Melissa Rennie as they're going down the backstretch. Looking good.
Can He See Me on the front end here? Nice gate to this, kind of small in stature, but a beautiful gate. The one Nick's going here on the front, and Murder's getting ready. A few tippy taps there in the pocket, getting ready to make his move here on the outside.
Another nice shot here from UMI, Kurt, as they get to the wire. That's pretty tight there. Right on the finish.
Gosh, that's a dead heat. I'm calling a dead heat there, Peter.
Nick took a quick look at the watch there. He had to be happy with that set there and the way they were going here today. And they let them finish their mile. You know, they let them go right around that turn. They don't finish at the finish.
Right.
They just keep them going here, and they don't really know the end of the mile, which is important. So that's what they're doing there, if you're wondering. Well, they're not slowing down much. But the next set is, I believe, on the track. And, Matt, if we can get a view of the big crowd here today, let's set it up for the folks, the viewers here today. There's a look at the top of the park. It is a full house here today with Breakfast of the Babies. They're lined up along the fence down around the parking as well. But there you go. You can move that along. There's a look at Mike Pollard. I see Mike.
He's got one in the last set here today, Lee.
He's got the sail topper.
He does.
Which is in race set number 17 here today.
Yeah.
Woodmere Kennedy, named after his daughter. And Mike even takes Pollard jogs that filly. So
yeah, no,
nice
he's been a great owner the last few years. Huge investments into the game. We thank Mike for that. Looking forward to set 17.
Like I said, we don't have a lot of time here. Once we get one side of the way here, guys, we're getting ready to go with the next set. And there's Getting Lit. These are the trotters out here from the Mike McGuigan stable. So Mike has Getting Lit, a 2-year-old colt by E.L. Rocket that we talked about a little earlier. And also both of them by E.L. Rocket and Rocket Blast, guys.
Yeah, that's right. Getting Lit here for James Whalen Jr. Is the owner here. Lane White is the breeder. Mike's going to do the training. And Rocket Blast, that's Wade Piccone, the owner. And he also is the breeder, Wade, on this horse. Mike is the trainer. And Getting Lit for James Whalen. And Kirk, James Whalen had a nice one in Getting Messy.
Absolutely. Getting Messy. It just shows you the talent Mike has. He can do it on the pacing side or trot side. But that was a really nice trotter. He dominated when he raced her.
Sure did. I remember Mike talking about wanting to win the Breeders' Crown that weekend, and he got it done that weekend, and it was one of the biggest victories of his career. It was a terrific way to cap off the season.
Yeah, Jamie and Janice Whalen, of course, great investment in the sport as well, as you mentioned. And I remember that Breeders' Crown win was very important because Mike, with his staff as well, I mentioned that Glenn Dunn with him for 9 years, Johnny McKay 7 years, and really wanted to win it for Johnny.
Yep.
He said, I'd love to be able to do that. And we knew that day. He didn't, of course. But that's why we were waiting in the wings to do a little shout out there. But you see them going here. They look good. It's another set that's coming up. I'm going to be jumping off the desk here because I just want to say my daughter Laurel Drake is in St. FX. We're going to pick her up here and take her home, but I know she's tuned in and watching in. So we're excited to have you home. And we'll be picking you up here shortly.
Well, again, congrats to Laurel for completing her first year, and safe travels to you guys. We'll see you next weekly. So, Kurt, the trotters are a little bit green, but that's to be expected here. They're just learning their early lessons here. It's one of the first days they're out here in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, it's to be expected. The one Mike's going with, Mind and His Manners, going really well there. But the one Glenn's trotters, young trotters, they do this. They're going to do this their entire 2-year-old career. It seems trotters take a little more time to mature and develop. But the one Mike's going with, Mind and His Manners, very well. Nice, good-sized trotter as well.
So as you mentioned, Kurt, and should be pointed out here, that's the thing about trotters. There's, I think, one word. It's called patience. And you have to be patient with them. But, man, when they get flat and get going, there's nothing more beautiful than a trotter at top flight. And these are great-looking colts here today.
Let's look. He got back down there flat, Kurt, and he started to look really good again. So, again, like he said, patience here. It's early days.
Yeah, you got to have patience with trotters. And like I said, their 2-year-old, just seeing Glenn there on the run there again at the 7/8 pole. Like Lee says, you just got to have patience with them. They take a little more time. The young trotters that get it off the bat, they seem to be able to cash in a little earlier. But most trotters take a little longer to mature and develop.
So there's a look at getting lit here, putting a wrap on the training session here today. Rocket Blast also part of that set here today from the Wigan Stable, and Breakfast with the Babies. Now, we've just been told that set number 9 is on track. It's non-stop action here, guys. So we'll roll with the crew here today. And best of luck on the rest of the Breakfast with the Babies.
Okay, getting set for set number 9. I was going to say race number 9, Kurt. We're a little bit away from that, but only a couple of weeks away from racing in 2023, as the spring meet is just a couple of weeks away. And Kurt, we've got some exciting things coming along. Before we get to this set here, the Governor's Plate will be back in July, and the Gold Cup and Saucer back for $100,000 on August the 19th. We're looking forward to some big events coming to PEI.
Yeah, it should be another great season with the Atlantic Invitational Circuit as well. Yeah, it's going to be a great season. Can't wait to get it going.
Okay, Kurt, and you mentioned it, the Atlantic Invitational Series, Road to the Premier's Cup, and here it is on our screen. Great Invitational Series last year. Premier's Cup will be Breeders' Crown weekend, but we'll race all season long across the Maritimes, starting in Woodstock on the 17th with the Walter Dale, and then the 24th here, the Cecil Ladner. So, Kurt, there's a look at the first 6 or 7 races. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it is going to be great. Like you say, kicks off with the Walter Dale there on June 17th. And then June 24th at the CDP right here, the Cecil Ladner Memorial. That's the one that I always look for every year, because that kind of it kind of gets you fired up for the Governor's Plate. You get to see the invitational horses that might be entered in just a few short weeks from that race.
That's right. And then the 23rd, the Lindsay Cup, and we're back to Woodstock on the 4th. So Atlantic Invitational Series, it's coming your way soon. As we get set for racing in a couple of weeks. Okay, and here's set number 9, Kurt. Great timing. You can see this is Rockin' Your Boots for Wendell Gregory and Courtly Jester for Jason Hughes.
Yeah, Whistles there on the inside with Rockin' Your Boots. It's out of Lucky Boot Camp, the Camlock mare that Donnie McRae raced here on the island. And Jason's got Courtly Jester, a 2-year-old colt by Courtly Choice. I'm interested to see. This is the first Courtly Choice I've seen. This is his first crop. We all remember his big Little Brown Jug victory from Lake McIntosh.
Yeah, I looked him up last night, Kurt, Courtly Choice, because I remember the Canadian Pacing Derby win, but then, yeah, I was going back further, and I'm like, this horse had an incredible career, 47 lifetime starts, 16 wins, up over $1.4 million in earnings, 47-1 at the Big M was his record. He won the Meadowlands Space, the Jug, and the Canadian Pacing Derby. He just had a terrific career.
Yeah, for sure, and that Jug win was just an incredible effort. He got it done that day, and then, like you say, yeah, he did win that Canadian Pacing Derby for Island Boy James McDonald, if I recall.
Yeah, he came out of the clouds. I think it was a huge price as well, and it was a huge one. I remember James at the wire was just leaning back. He was so happy that he got him there at the end. It was
he was fist pumping, for
yeah,
sure.
it was quite a memory.
Yeah.
So there's a look at the 7 that's Rockin' Your Boots. That's Wendell Gregory, as we said, and Jason Hughes has Courtly Jester, the 2-year-old by Courtly Choice here. $18,000 at the Lexington Select Sale was Courtly Jester. So we'll see how he does as the 7's on the front here, Kurt.
7's on the front with Whistle there, and Whistle's taking a look at the watch. He's taking a look back for Jason. Courtly Jester, the one Jason's going with, not minding his manners here this morning. He has made a few breaks there that I just caught at the edge of the camera view there. He made that break going into the first turn, and he's been acting up the entire mile. But the one Whistle's going with here, Rockin' Your Boots, minding its manners, looking good here.
Yeah, and Donnie McRae, we mentioned him a bit earlier, Kurt, but I think we got to say he's been a great owner, not only with the young horses, but also the overnight horses. He has a really nice mare, an Ace 44 Dome, and Donnie's just been great for harness racing on the island.
Oh, absolutely. Buys aged horses, yearlings, very active at the yearling sale. But like you say, Ace 44 Dome, what an incredible season she had last year. Ended up winning the Mayor's Final there, beating Dream Fair, Zenfire. And that's a good look finishing up there of the Lucky Boot Cam colt, Rockin' Your Boots. There's a look at Jason there coming with Courtly Gesture, minding his manners there now. But Jason will get this guy ironed out for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's early days here. And again, that's set number 9 for Breakfast with the Babies at Red Shores. Working on set number 10 next. So, Kurt, we're getting ready for set number 10. That'll be coming up next. Elm Grove Sailor, Jack Wick, Tequila Blue Rocka. So we'll see those horses. But, Kurt, of course, we want to talk about the Gold Cup and Saucer. It's presented by Atlantic Lottery. Last year up to $100,000. And this year, Saturday, August the 19th. And, Kurt, that slate says it all. The crowd and the finish, the spotlight, it's all right there, and it's coming in August.
That's a beautiful picture. Obviously, Rock Diamonds there getting it done.
Yeah.
But that was an incredible year. That was an incredible Gold Cup and Saucer. And look at that crowd in the background. Great to see the crowds back last year. It was a hopping place last year. I remember watching online.
Yeah.
And this year, it's going to be even better. And with Atlantic Lottery being the presenting sponsor, again, they're topping up the purse money this year again. Used to be 60. They're topping it up with another 40 for $100,000. It is a very lucrative race. Can't wait for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kurt, I think last year, like you said, it felt real again, like with the crowds around. Old Home Week was back. I think a lot of people said, I got to make it out to Prince Edward Island to watch the Gold Cup and Saucer. And I think it's going to be even bigger this year. People want to come and see this race.
Yeah, it's just such a great race. It's kind of like the Little Brown Jug. It's just, you got to be here to experience the crowd and just the buzz around the city the entire week. It's just an experience you'll never forget.
I know there's a lot of people watching online today, so yes, if you're even thinking about it, I think you should come. You're not going to be disappointed. Another terrific year for the Gold Cup and Saucer. Okay, Kurt, we're going on to set number 10 here. We got Elm Grove Sailor for Greg Weatherby, Jack Wick for Kenny Arsenault, Tequila Blue Rocka for Von Doyle, and we'll start with the one Elm Grove Sailor.
Yeah, Elm Grove Sailor. We've got a couple of Arthur Blue Chips in here. Greg Weatherby on the rail, Kenny Arsenault leaving 2 with Jack Wick, 2-year-old colt by McWicked, and Von Doyle is going to go with the 3 Tequila Blue Rocka, 2-year-old colt by Arthur Blue Chip. But Elm Grove Sailor, Arthur Blue Chip brother to former stakes star Touch of Lightning. We all remember him.
Yeah.
The colt was bought at the sale last year for $17,000.
Yeah, and Kurt, I was looking at Jack Wick as well, and I looked up McWicked last night. I thought, that horse had a really nice career. Well, wow. I didn't realize, looking it up, 110 career starts for McWicked, 82 in the top 3, 40 wins, and up over $5 million. So, Kurt, I was looking around, and I'm thinking, that's got to be one of the richest standardbreds of all time. And I think maybe it was number 2 to Foiled Again when I was looking it up last night.
Yeah, pretty close, if not the second for sure. Yeah, over $5 million, not too shabby. And just a nice little mark there of 146-2, McWicked. And he was a handful for Casey Coleman.
Is that right?
I remember seeing videos. Yeah, I remember seeing videos online. Local Maritimer, Ben Hollingsworth, and Island Boy Mark McKinnon. I think they've had to deal with McWicked. He is very rambunctious. He's a stallion, and he knows it.
Well, Kurt, a $35,000 Harrisburg sale purchase went on to make $5 million. That's quite a career.
Yeah, and a beautiful horse, too.
So we'll see them getting set up here for the set number 10, Kurt. We got the 2, that's Jack Wick. The 1, that's Elm Grove Sailor. And the 3, Tequila Blue Rocka. We'll see them go here, and we'll pick up some commentary in just a sec. Kind of nice to see them, Kurt, fanning out here 3 wide to get it going here.
Yeah, nice to see a set of 3 here. With the set of 2, you don't get a lot of movement. We'll see what we got here for set number 3. But getting a look at Jack Wick there on the rail for Kenny Arsenault. This Jack Wick colt by McWicked out of Pop's Pumpkin, a Big Jim mare, and Pop's Pumpkin. I don't know if you know this, Peter, but thanks to Nick Oakes, we now know that Pop's Pumpkin, a sister to Gold Cup and Saucer champion Shadow Place.
Yes, didn't know that until I read the note. Excellent note by Nick there.
Yeah.
And your buddy
Nick
Kenny?
did his homework for us.
He seems to be
Kenny on the front end where he likes it. Yeah. These training trips, he takes it pretty serious. I think he knows They probably have a coffee on the line,
I
and he likes his coffee.
I was going to say, how many coffees did you buy him over the years?
Oh, a few, a few. Like my brother Jason, Kenny and Jason have very long pockets, deep pockets, and short arms.
Okay. So Kenny on the front in the 2-hole. That's Greg with Elm Grove Sailor and Tequila Blue Rocka for Vaughn.
Yeah, Kenny on the front end. Was watching it was a good interview Randy Waples did with Chris Christopher the other night
Yep.
at Woodbine Mohawk Park there. Christopher, he is
Hall of Fame
nominated
candidate,
for
yep.
the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Yeah, and they were talking about state treasure.
Yes.
Islander Shannon Sugar Doyle wrote in with a question about state treasure and what a great win that was he had in London. Their big race there, the Camelot Classic.
Yep.
And Christopher was just talking about how great he was on a half-mile track, state treasure. And obviously, we all know that Kenny Arsenault gave this horse, state treasure, his early lessons.
That's correct. Kenny up over 3,300 wins. Kurt, we were talking about that earlier, and it's hard to believe Kenny got started back in 1984, and he has trained and driven so many good ones over his career.
Yep, Meridian Magic. We all remember that filly.
Yeah.
She went undefeated for a long time, and he did well with her. He also had Port Hill Al, a real nice Largo colt for Marvin Webster, along with many others. And it looks like Kenny's going to romp here.
Yeah.
The other two in there making some breaks, but another coffee for Kenny here this morning.
I remember talking to Kenny one time in an interview. I asked him who was the best horse, and he said Meridian Magic. He had a lot. It's hard to pick for Kenny, but I believe, Kurt, she reeled off 25 in a row in her maritime career.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she was so dominant. And again, I think she was by Largo as well. Yeah, she was a Largo. Barry Martin of Sydney owned her, and she dominated. She wasn't very big. A lot of the Largos aren't very big. I think Port Hill Alf might have been the biggest Largo. Well, no, there might have been a few bigger than him. Yeah, that I recall. But she was a beautiful filly, and she absolutely dominated her sophomore campaign.
Yeah, she sure did. That is set number 10. We'll get ready for set number 11 coming up next. Breakfast with the Babies on a beautiful morning from Red Shores in Charlottetown. And we've got the 50-50 number here as well. So here's your 50-50 number for $162. M2486706. That's the number this morning for $162. M2486706. Okay, getting set for set 11, Kurt. I'm wanting to call it a race, but it is a set here this morning. And before we get there, Kurt, I think this is going to be something a lot of people are interested in this year. It's the new Red Shores player portal, and we launched it last year, gave it a soft launch in January, but we're going to pick it back up and really promote it this year. We want people to go there to watch the races. You'll have your cards. It's sort of a one-stop shop for people playing Red Shores.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say it's a one-stop shop. It's got everything you need as a handicapper. It's got the programs, and it's got a lot of history and the stats of all the post positions. It's got everything there. And so go on over to Redshores.ca for all you handicappers and check it out.
Yeah, there's driver headshots there as well. We're going to put our trainer headshots up, Kurt. We've got some new ones this year from Charlottetown. We're heading to Summerside next week. We're going to get some headshots in Summerside. Again, like you said, programs, picks. There's stats from Standardbred Canada, top trainers, top drivers. It's all there at the Red Shores player portal this season. Also have some more winners this morning. If you're with us, you can come to the Top of the Park broadcast desk to pick up your prize. If not, they'll be in the race office. You can pick them up later on next week. Set 7, the winner was Corey Livingston. He has a Turf's gift certificate. James Will, and also a winner this morning, Greenhawk gift card, and Bill Kinney, a Red Shores hat. So if you've heard your name, you can come see me here at the broadcast desk, or next week you can pick up your prize in the race office. So, Kurt, we're at set number 11. Peter Pang in here is the 2-year-old gelding by Pang Shui, and we're getting a look there at Murigo Magic, a 2-year-old by Tobago Kays.
Yeah, it was a private purchase, Murigo Magic by Tobago Kays, out of the Atlantic champion Meridian Magic, who we were just talking about. Also the mother of Atlantic champion Magical Mistress, that Murder was in the seat for all her wins here on the island. Wow, was she a good freshman filly, Peter?
Yes, absolutely. She was terrific. Terrific. I want to touch a little bit on Tobago Kays. 155 lifetime starts. Did have the 31 wins, 19 seconds, and 12 thirds. So a nice career. And up over 818,000 life. So Tobago Kays was a nice racehorse, Kurt.
Yeah, real nice racehorse, and turned into a nice sire as well. I like that Rock and Roll Kays that campaign last year for Kenny Murphy. I just like that filly. She was really nice. She ended up winning the consolation there, I believe, in the fall. But he throws a real nice horse.
That's the 5, Murigo Magic, and also so Adam Murner will be on the 5. Is a shot there. And the 4 will be Peter Pang. And we'll see Jody Hennessy. We talked about Jody a little bit earlier on. And yes, Kurt, he knows where the winner's circle is. He was a terrific driver in his day, and he trucked around the Maritimes a lot. He had a lot of nice free-for-all type horses in the Maritimes when Jody was doing very, very well.
Yeah, I was very young at the time, but I remember Jody. I think the horse's name was Christopher C. Down.
Yeah.
He's just one of my favorite horses to watch, and Jody drove him. He was just a beauty.
Glenn Reynolds was another one that he had too. Really nice racehorse that Jody drove. Glenn Reynolds in the top ranks in the Maritimes. He certainly knew where the winner's circle was. And like Lee said, and you said, the barn was really, really nicely kept, really, really clean. And Jody just had a terrific stable in his day. And he's helping out Adam Murner now. And where could you get better experience than Jody Hennessy?
Exactly. He could teach Murner a few things, and for sure, a veteran and you know, like you say, a good set of hands. And but I always remember his barn. You could eat off the floor, Peter. It was just spotless. He ran a tight ship.
Absolutely. As they get set here, and they're going to go here in set number 11. Peter Pang is the 4. Jody Hennessy. 5 is Murigo Magic. That's Adam Murner. We'll let them go here, and we'll pick them up in just a second. So way to go, Kurt. Looks like Jody on the inside is going to front this here early.
Yeah, he's on the front end. Murner taking another 2-hole ride here.
Yeah.
Murner's pocketing up here this morning. Tracking along in the 2-hole with a lot of his mounts. But
drafting along
Jody's
here.
right on the front end. Drafting along. Yeah,
this might have been a strategy they talked about, maybe, eh?
I think so. They're going to get Jody on the front here, right in the miles. Maybe Murner gets a little too rambunctious, and maybe he gets over the half a little too quick, so Jody's keeping him in behind.
Yeah.
Harnessing that power.
Might be a late kick.
I talk about Jody and how he likes to run a tight ship, and everything looks spotless. I remember coming, I used to go by his barn to the track every day, jogging. I remember one day I was going by, and I had the halter on under the bridle. I was going out to jog a horse, and I was just trying to quickly get it done. And he seen me with the halter on under the bridle. Well, he let me have it. He said, "What are you doing going out the track with a halter on under the bridle? Get a head halter, like a racing head halter on that horse." Come on, you got to look the part, he'd say. He used
Yeah,
to give it to me.
you weren't getting away with that.
No.
And the Hennessy family, Kurt, I mean, wow. I mean, we all know how well they've done. But for all of them to be involved in the sport and to be so successful, it's a terrific story, a terrific island story, really.
Yeah, it is. Gordy, a good driver as well, back in the day, and he's still actively involved in the business. And Wally, I mean, he's a jet setter.
He
He's
sure
been
is.
everywhere.
And Danny,
Just
a
like
great
the song
trainer.
goes, yeah, it's a Danny, a great trainer for sure down in Florida. But Wally just competed in that drivers' challenge there where the Pompano boys took on the
Northfield.
boys there in Northfield, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah,
Yeah, they did.
yeah. So Wally's still very active, and he's getting late in his career as well. We're going to get a look at them here, finishing up. Murner pulling pocket here on the outside. Wow, these two look comfortable.
Yeah. Look terrific. Great shot here from UMI as they reach up to the wire here. 5 getting up there. That's Marigo Magic for Murner on the inside. Jody Hennessy and Peter Pang as we finish up set number 11 with breakfast with the babies. Set 12 on the way.
That Marigo Magic, the 2-year-old gelding by Tobago K's out of Meridian Magic. Wow, did that one finish up strong with Murner in the bike. These two out there on the track, those two babies, just look like aged racehorses. And you can see the shot there of Murner finishing up on the backstretch. I mean, he's got 10 lengths on Jody there. That one finished up really strong. Holy moly.
I agree with you, Kurt. Like, just the look of these horses early on, terrific. Everybody doing a great job today. So getting ready for set number 12 here. Coming up, Redland Peaches for Glenn Dunn and Freaky Fanny for Mike McGuigan. We'll see them in a second. Kurt, we talked about it earlier on, the Atlantic Invitational Series. It'll be coming up June 17th. We'll be in Woodstock for the Walter Dale. But the following week, it'll be the Cecil Ladner Memorial. And it certainly is a tradition here at Red Shores. And just wanted to say to the Ladner family, looking forward to that again in early June.
Yeah, great family, the Ladner family, and Cecil owned horses with my dad.
Yes.
Back in the day, and Cecil, you couldn't find Peter a better owner in the sport. He just loved coming to watch. He didn't care if they were first or last, or he just loved being at the track watching them race, and he always had a smile on his face. Just a great guy, great owner, and I always look forward to the Ladner Memorial every single year because it brings in the best invitational horses in the region.
That's right, and yeah, that'll be in June. Looking forward to that as part of that Atlantic Invitational Series. And here we go with set number 12. Redland Peaches is the 6 for Glenn Dunn, and Freaky Fanny for Mike McGuigan. Redland Peaches, owned by American Josh McDonald, Gordon Coles, and Ingham Jenkins, and Freaky Fanny is owned by Josh McDonald as well. And we can see the 6 Redland Peaches, Kurt, up on the lead.
Yeah. This is set 12, as you mentioned, and the one Mike's going with, wow, this looks professional. Looks like a 3-year-old out on the track. And that is Freaky Fanny, a 2-year-old filly by Art Speak out of Silver Hill, fun of that Shadow Play mare. And Mike's going with. Mike's had, like we said, a ton of success. This is a big Art Speak. Art Speak, typically, they're a little on the small side, but I think they look good here this morning.
Yeah, 6 on the front for Glenn Dunn, Redland Peaches. Freaky Fanny for Mike is in the 2-hole. Let's talk about Artspeak, though, a little bit, Kurt. The sire of Freaky Fanny, 27 lifetime starts, 14 wins, was a Metro winner for Scott Zeron in 50-2, up over $1.7 million in earnings, 47-4. The mark is the 3-year-old at the Red Mile in Lexington, and was second in the jug elimination to Wiggle It Jiggle It. So Artspeak was a really, really nice racehorse.
Yeah, and Mike had, speaking of Shadow, Freaky Fanny's sister, if you recall, last year. She was on her toes early. She was really nice filly early there. Speaking of Shadow, she was also by Art Speak, and they campaigned last year. $21,000 yearling purchase was Freaky Fanny.
Yes, and Redland Peaches for Glendon on the front. We mentioned the ownership group of Mark and Josh McDonald, Gordon Cole, Zingham Jenkins, $30,000 purchase at the Atlantic Classic sale.
They're throwing us curveballs here this morning, Peter, because I'm sure that's Mike on the front end sitting on the 6.
Maybe they did change it up.
2-year-old filly by McWicket. Yeah, it looks like Glenn in the 2-hole here with the 7.
It's hard to identify without the driving suit skirt.
Yeah, but I think that's Mike on the front end. They're trying to keep us on our toes here today.
I think so, yeah. Mike is on the 6. You're right. Just confirming that, Kurt. Mike on the 6 and Glenn was on the 7. So that's set number 12, Redland Peaches and Freaky Fanny.
They're looking good. They are looking good. Very professional.
So that was set number 12. And just a reminder as well, got a note from Gail McDonald, and I want to mention the PEI Standardbred Horse Owners Association Annual Awards Banquet. It's going to be held next Saturday night, April 29th, at the Charlottetown Hotel. Almost sold out. A few tickets available. You can get them from members or at the Charlottetown Vet Clinic. So again, a reminder, the PEI Standardbred Horse Owners Association Annual Awards Banquet next Saturday night, April 29th. It's going to be held at the Charlottetown Hotel. Tickets, just a few left. You can get them from members or at the Charlottetown Vet Clinic. Okay, Kurt, so set number 13 will be coming next. Jason Hughes and Wendell Gregory, they'll be back out on the track. Also want to talk about, we looked at a board earlier on the Atlantic Invitational Series, Road to the Premier's Cup. We looked at the first dates, and here's the second set of dates, starting on August the 12th, the Gold Cup and Saucer Trials. And Kurt, again, it's another terrific lineup all the way to the Premier's Cup.
Yeah, August 19th, we got the Premier's Pace, and then we got the Gogwin and Woodstock on September 2nd. The Reliable Motors Richard Campbell Memorial there on September 9th. The Inverness Invitational, remember racing that with Edgewater RP back in the day. That's September 17th. And then it all leads to that Premier's Cup on October 8th.
Yeah, it's going to be terrific. Last year, Twinbee Tough Enough got up to win the Premier's Cup late for Gilberto. So we'll see what happens this year. But, Kurt, the Invitational ranks very, very competitive across the Maritimes this year.
Oh, it sure is. Yeah, a lot of nice horses. Twinbee Tough Enough. What a way to end a season. He just he became very dominant once trainer Ronnie Matheson got him ironed out. He was incredible last year.
Yeah, looking forward to the series. Like we said, it starts in Woodstock with the Walterdale and then the Ladner here in Charlottetown. We'll travel the road to the Premier's Cup all season long with the Atlantic Invitational Series. So set 13, Kurt, is on the track. We're going to have the 8 and the 9 in here. And Be There in a Bit is a 2-year-old colt by Source of Pride. Your brother, Robbie Hughes, is the owner.
Yeah, he's the owner of the 8, but Be There in a Bit, along with John Collins, the 2-year-old colt by Source of Pride, out of Miss Kokomo by Western Paradise. Yeah, and you know what, Peter? These guys are rolling these babies out here, these sets. I'm shuffling papers. I'm grabbing papers.
Me too.
I can't keep up to them.
Me either. I'm like, who's on who? And I think we're doing pretty good here. But yeah, it's been bang in these sets early on here, Kurt. Not much time in between. And we had lots of things on the go here. We're going to play some videos and that. But these guys are sharp this morning. They're on the track.
Absolutely. We got Whistle on the outside here with the 9 Wizard. 2-year-old gelding by Stonebridge Terror. Got a big bow in its neck. It looks like it's ready to go on the outside here.
Yeah, and that's a Wizard is a 2-year-old by Stonebridge Terror, like you mentioned, and Jason on Be There in a Bit as they get set to roll here in set number 13.
And Wizard was a $10,500 purchase yearling at the Atlantic Classic sale, and he's a full brother to stakes winner Whistler, who Jason also campaigned there just a couple years ago, if you recall.
Yeah,
he won a Joe Bryan Gold, I think Gold Home Week.
Yeah.
He was a real nice horse.
Alan McDonald?
That's right,
Yeah. So Wizard, Kurt, we talked about Stonebridge Terror, and we got to mention him just a little bit because he had such a nice career. 100 lifetime starts, 16 wins, up over 834,000 in earnings, 151, and one at Mohawk for Stonebridge Terror at age 3. But Kurt, I think we all remember him here as part of the Gold Cup and Saucer Series. 2010, he was second in the final to Part Shark, just missed, and then he came back in 2012, and he was fourth to 18. He had put in a couple of good efforts. Almost got there in 2010.
Yeah, he really did. I think he won his elimination that year. Scotty Coulter, I believe.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me correct, drove him. And he won his elimination, but he ran into a ringer in Part Shark. And a very young Scott Ziron, who was very exuberant in the winner's circle, getting the job done there. Yeah. I think Prescott trained Part Shark, but he was just a half-mile expert. He could pounce off the wings, but Stonebridge Terror, I just remember him being a big, good-looking, handsome horse, and could get around any size track.
That's right. I do remember the race. Part Shark at the wire, and Ziron was so excited getting him there in the end. And Stonebridge Terror was tracking him at the end, but it was an excellent Gold Cup and Saucer.
Yeah, and I think Scotty Z gave an I Love PEI shout-out in the winner's circle, if I recall.
Yes, he did. He did. He's gone on to do great things.
Which speaks to the experience of Gold Cup and Saucer Week and the race. It's just, if you haven't been here, we're spoiled because we get to see it every year. But if you haven't been here, it's just an incredible experience and one you got to take in if you're a racing fan.
Couldn't say it any better, Kurt. I do think people came last year and they're coming this year. It's on the bucket list. Get to the Gold Cup and Saucer.
These two look professional out there. A couple of really nice 2-year-olds. Be There in a Bit coming on the outside for Jason. And on the front end, we got Wizard. Like we said, we mentioned he's a brother to Whistler.
That's right.
And we got Whistle driving, so a little connection there. A
lot of W's,
Whistle
Kurt.
with Whistler's brother. Yeah. And Jason's on the outside looks really nice. That's a Be There in a Bit, the 2-year-old by Source of Pride.
Again, just another
finished
terrific
up strong.
Yeah, they did, and I've been impressed the whole way here this morning, Kurt. Like we said, they look terrific on the racetrack at an early age.
Yeah, these two look like 3-year-olds the way they're behaving out there.
So that's set 13. We still have 4 more to go at Red Shores in Charlottetown with Breakfast with the Babies. It's been a terrific morning, beautiful morning here. People were here early. The parking lot was full. Stretch Drive was full. The top of the park is full. People are excited about what's to come. We've got qualifying next Saturday. Then we race here on May the 6th. We'll be in Summerside on May the 22nd. So it all lines up to be a terrific season. And we'll be back with another set in just a moment. Okay, so we're still looking for our 50-50 winner. No one has claimed the prize yet, so I'm going to announce the number one more time here. 50-50 for 162 today. Here's the number, M2486706. 50-50 number is M2486706 for $162. Okay, we're getting ready for set number 14. Boy, they're just coming fast and furious at us here today, Kurt. But let's talk about the Atlantic Classic Sale again, because the last couple of years, they've hit it out of the park, the Atlantic Classic Sale. 2023, it's October 6th at the Crapo Exhibition Grounds, Kurt.
Yeah, and note the start time a little earlier this time, starting at 12:30. So Nick Oakes and his crew, Julie Jameson, they've done a terrific job with this sale over the last few years, bringing it online. You can bid online, watch it online. It's just come ahead, kind of like our breed.
Yes.
Leaps and bounds here over the last few years.
That's right. Entries open from May 1st to 31st, 2023. You can enter your consignment online, peiharnessracing.ca/forums, or you can call 902-569-1682. It's going to be another great Atlantic Classic Sale. October 6th, Crapo Exhibition Grounds. It's 12:30 start time. So set 14 this morning, Kurt, and we're going to the 1, 2, and 3 here. Oh My Beautiful Daisy, it'll be Nick Oakes on Oh My Beautiful Daisy, a 2-year-old filly by Arthur Blue Chip. Watch Your Bet, that's Ryan Perot. First time we'll see Ryan today. And Sensational Gal for Neil Bambrick. So those are the 3 this time out, Kurt.
Yeah, and Doug Matheson of Cornwall, a very active owner here over the last few years. He's got 2 in here. He's got a great shot at getting a prize in here.
He does. We've been giving out some prizes for the owners here. And, yeah, like you said, Kurt, like Doug's really stepped up, and he's bought some race horses, some young ones. So he's got some overnight horses as well, and he's been a terrific addition to the ownership ranks on the island.
Absolutely, and it looks like he loves the game, and they even took a trip to London to their yearling sale last year and purchased. So great to have him in the sport, and hopefully he has a lot of success this year.
Yeah, the Watch Your Bet horse, the 2-year-old filly, but he's watching, you mentioned, was a $14,000 purchase at the London Classic Sale. So, again, we thank Doug for his investment. And Nick does the training as well. There's a shot of Nick on the 1 here. Oh My Beautiful Daisy. And we talked about Nick a little bit earlier and how well he's been doing. But, Kurt, last year in 2022, out of 120 starts, Nick had 14 wins on the training side, up over $80,000 in money, and 275 was the batting average. I mean, it was a nice year in 2022.
Yeah, for sure. He just seems to be getting better and better every year. He had a real nice filly last year, Mystical Gal. She continues to do great things. I think she was a winner last week in London. So I just remember her. Jason drove her a little bit for Nick, and she was a real game filly. He does a great job.
He sure does. And like you mentioned, he's got the farm in Warren Grove. Got a really nice barn out there, and has done very, very well the last couple of years. We'll let them line up here, and we'll pick up some commentary once they get going. Looks like they're set to roll here, Kurt, in the 14th set. 1 is Oh My Beautiful Daisy, Nick Oakes on the rail. 2, Watch Your Bet. That's Ryan Perot in the middle. 3, Sensational Gal. Neil Bambrick on the outside. Nice to see 3 again, Kurt.
Yeah, a set of 3 here with Nick on the rail with Oh My Beautiful Daisy by Arthur Blue Chip. Was bought for $9,000 at the Atlanta Classic yearling sale, and she is a sister to a 156 winner. Hey, you Hellion. And then the 2 and 3 are first foals out of their mares, out of the brood mares. So we'll get a look at their first foals here. And on the outside, it is the 3 Sensational Gal, a 2-year-old filly by Roll With It Harry. Neil Bambrick, serious on the front end here, crossing over.
Shooting out of there, wasn't he? The 3 Neil on the front.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like Nick's going to hang Perot out and make him take a back seat. He's going to have to sit third in here. Nick taking the 2-hole. But Neil fired up early.
Yes, he was.
Three fillies in here with Neil on the front end with Sensational Gal, Roll With It Harry. Roll With It Harry's been such a great sire here. He stands at Bruce Wood's farm there, Woodmere Farms. And Roll With It Harry, it doesn't really seem to matter what broodmare, what bloodline they have. He seems to cross well with a lot of different bloodlines. Woodmere Sky Roller comes to mind, a real nice filly. She was so dominant in her sophomore campaign.
Yeah, and I looked up Roll With It Harry as well, Kurt. 26 lifetime wins. He had over 600,000 in the bank, and he took a record of 50-1 at the Meadowlands at age 3. So not only a great sire, but he was a real nice racehorse as well.
Yeah, and we got to see him a little bit there in his racing
winding
career.
down his career, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And nice looking horse, nice gaited horse on the track. Looks like Ryan Perot trying to reel in the 3 in here, Peter.
Yeah,
Getting close, but it looks like Neil has his game face on. I don't think he's going to let anyone pass him here.
He was serious from the get-go, wasn't he? He got front, and Ryan's trying to reel him in, like you said, but I don't know. I think Neil might get there.
Oh, yeah, Neil's he's home and cooled here.
Sensational Gal, yes, owned by Doug Masson and Janet Sanderson. Nick Oakes is the trainer. Neil Bambrick today, as you can see, went front and went all the way. Watch your bet for Ryan Perot. Doug Matheson again, the owner on that. Nicholas Oakes, the trainer, and Nick on Oh My Beautiful Daisy, the 2-year-old filly by Arthur Blue Chip. So that's set 14, 3 to go here. Breakfast with the Babies. Okay, so getting set for set number 15 at Red Shores in Charlottetown with Breakfast with the Babies. We've had a great morning, 14 sets already. It's been a beautiful day here on the island. Kurt Hughes and Peter McPhee, there he is, and he's remote at his home. And but I'm hearing you may be coming back to the track. Is that true?
Live and in color in a couple weeks. Can't wait to be back live and in color. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Looking forward to seeing you. I know I saw you the other night, but looking forward to working with you in person again. Kurt, We're going to get to set 15 in a second, but we've got a couple of promo videos that we've built during the off season. We're going to throw to one here now, the Governor's Plate. We'll come back and get some reaction. Here it is.
The Governor's Plate has a storied history in harness racing on Prince Edward Island. Through the years, deserving winners and champions have been celebrated in Summerside. From the first edition in 1969 and every year since, this race is a must-see on the harness racing calendar.
There's a brouhaha going on in the Governor's Plate. Boom! Just like that, 27 seconds flat. It is history. Two-time winner, Outlaw Positive Charge and Terry Gallant have done it tonight. New leader, Macapulco, in line to Mario El Fronto. Governor's Plate, 54, no plan intended for David Dowling.
The Governor's Plate, proudly presented by Summerside Chrysler Dodge. Visit Redshores.ca for more details.
Well, there it is, Kurt. Last year's winner. We saw David Dowling there with no plan intended. And how about those calls from Vance? That gets the blood rising up there and ready to go for Governor's Plate.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite races to watch. Vance Cameron, he's by far, in my mind, the best announcer in the business. And that Summerside race, he gets fired up. And I love the El Fronto call there at the quarter.
It is one of the classics. We saw Vance the other night as well, getting ready for the season. And, we put a few calls in for that one and the Governor's Plate and the Gold Cup. So we'll play that one in just a few minutes. And looking forward to working with Vance again this year. Kurt will be back on track, which is great. And we'll get to set 15 next. So, Kurt, set 15, they're on the track here, and we'll go through them here before they get set to go. How Max Swanky is the 4 for Mike McGuigan. These are trotters. Mass Action is the 5 here for Kenny Arsenault, and Getting Tipsy is the 6 for Glenn Dunn.
Yeah, How Max Swanky is by Muscle Mass out of the 4 Mistakes winning mare. How Max Pride Mass Action is by Muscle Mass and is a full brother to North American Free for All Trotter, loved by the masses.
Oh, wow.
How about Getting Tipsy?
Yeah, Getting Tipsy, great name. Owner is Jamie Whalen from Vernon Bridge. Breeder is Blaine White from Bell River. Mike McGuigan, of course, doing the training. Wade Piccone is the owner on the 5, Mass Action. Wade is the breeder as well, Kenny Arsenault. And How Mac Swanky from How Mac Farms and Brian Foley, they share the ownership. Wade Piccone is the breeder. Mike McGuigan is the trainer. Set 15 is on the way.
Loved by the masses. Watched him race a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Loved by the masses. What a nice trotter.
What a career for Loved by the Masses. Again, horses from PEI doing great on the North American stage. Kurt, it's amazing, really.
Yeah, racing down there at the Meadowlands a couple weeks ago I watched. That's the mecca of harness racing, and he's doing quite well down there.
So the line up here, like we said, How Max Swanky, Mass Action, Getting Tipsy. In set 15, we'll let them go and pick them up in just a second. So, Kurt, again, trotters, again, learning their early lessons. And I think the word we said earlier was patience.
Yeah, patience. Glenn Dunn there was on the front and made that little bobble, but Glenn's collected him and getting Tipsy's back at it there. See Kenny Arsenault in the bike here this morning. He is really serious.
That's right.
mass action there in the bike, sitting 2. Mike McGuigan now inherited the lead there after the break by Glenn. Howmack, Swanky, 2-year-old colt, like we say, by muscle mass. These two look really good here as they get set to swing by the half. Now, Peter, I mentioned how serious Kenny takes these training trips.
Yes.
Well, you couldn't get any more serious than the race bike.
I was
He's at
gonna
a
say.
distinct advantage.
He really wanted to win this one, I think. Did he, Kurt?
Yeah, he's pulling out all the stops. I mean, the breeding on this one alone should get it to the wire first, but he's pulling out the Honda.
Yeah, that's right. It's early days, but he wants an early win, I think.
Yeah, and he's pulling pocket here well before 3/4. And they're going to race around this last turn. They look really good,
I
these
was
two
going to
trotters.
say,
Wow.
2 nice-looking trotters. Wow, this is setting up to be a good one down the stretch.
Yeah, but Mike's carrying that extra weight with the car.
Yeah.
And like I say, Kenny's got a real advantage here on the outside with the bike. But they look really good, really good.
Certainly do. So there's set 15 finishing up. The 5 was mass action. Kenny Arsenault, Howmack Swanky for Mike McGuigan, and Getting Tipsy for Glenn Dunn as we finish up set 15 on a beautiful Saturday morning at Red Shores in Charlottetown. It's breakfast with the babies. 2 more sets to go. Okay, 2 sets to go here at Red Shores in Charlottetown. Back with Kurt Hughes and Peter McPhee. Kurt, it's been bang, bang, bang. We've been trying to get some things in that we produced in the off season. Wanted to tell people about the good news that happening in Prince Edward Island, getting set for racing in 2 weeks. And we're trying to get things in here. We'll get back out to the track in just a second. But we talked about the Gold Cup and Saucer earlier on, back for $100,000 this year. It'll be August 19th. Let's go to a promo video, and we'll come back and chat about it. Here it is now.
It's the Gold Cup and Saucer presented by Atlantic Lottery. They go for $100,000. Escape the news in Cup and Saucer 54. Blissful Breeze, Cup and Saucer 52. Anthony McDonald, your dream comes true. Sintra has won the Gold Cup and Saucer.
Well, there it is, Kurt, Saturday, August the 19th, 2023. And I think we got to touch on Anthony a little bit there. He always wanted to win this race, Kurt, and he had the right horse last year because Sintra was on top of his game when they rolled out last year.
Yeah, it was great to see him get the win there. My Uncle Harry Polton connections to Sintra, and he was sent down for this race. And Smitty, Jamie Smith, the trainer for that week, and Anthony came home to try and win it. And he had such a beautiful animal going in behind the gate, Sintra. Such a classy campaigner, so many wins. He just took Anthony for a ride there last year, and what a dominant performance. I mean, he trailed off the gate a few lengths and still was a winner in 51. Like, he paced his mile 49 and change. I just thought it was an incredible mile, and an incredible horse getting it done there for Anthony. Finally getting the job done. He's been knocking on the door. I don't think anyone's tried for the Gold Cup and Saucer as many times as he has, and he finally got his win there. And in the interview after the race, you could tell how emotional he was and what a big victory it was for him.
Absolutely. Congrats to Anthony. Of course, Mark has won it a couple of times. I think James, that's the next one for him. Kurt, if I'm guessing, I think James wants this race.
He does want this race, and he came close there a few years ago. I remember he came home with a nice horse. I think it was Up.
Yeah.
I think Bert Smith was the owner, and he came close, but he got collared that year by, I believe, Brad Forward, maybe Big Town Hero that year.
Yeah.
I think Brad Forward reeled him in and deep in the stretch, but James was close that year.
He'll be coming. I know he wants to win the Gold Cup and Saucer. So we're at set 16. Dusty Lane Wee here for owner Ronnie Gass. Ronnie's the breeder as well. Lenny Myers is in the bike. And Ma Barker, owner Tricia McGregor. And it's Doug McGregor this morning, Kurt, on Ma Barker.
Nice to see Doug out. I remember racing against Doug back in the day, and then we were talking about that invitational circuit. I had Edgewater RB, and he had a really nice horse back in the day. They had a syndication there. A bunch of guys owned him. Liam Dolan and John Linkley and those guys. His name was Bramley Road. He was such a terrific invitational horse, and he was not purchased for a lot of money. I think they claimed him maybe for about $15,000 out of Woodbine, and he was a terrific invitational horse. So nice to see Dougie on the track here this morning.
Absolutely, and we want to mention about Ma Barker as well. Tricia, we mentioned Doug's sister, is the owner on the horse, but they also have 7 brand new owners in on her as well, 2 from PEI, 4 from Florida, including Tanya, who is another sibling of the family, and her daughter Marissa as well. So again, great to see, Kurt, lots of people getting involved on the ownership side.
Yeah, for sure. A $13,000 yearling purchase at the Atlantic Classic sale as well. And Dusty Lane Wee is an EL Rock affiliate of the former stakes winner Kim's PJs, and All-Star Katrina is a private purchase by Ontario sire Wheelin' and Dealin' out of Latest Mission. Latest Mission is a sister to former CDP track record holder Real Housewife.
So again, this is set 16. The 8 is Dusty Lane Wee, Lenny Myers aboard, and the 9, Ma Barker. It's Doug McGregor. And Kurt, I was talking to Doug the other day. We're doing some 60 seconds or less segments, and we've got some good ones coming along. Doug is part of it this year, and he had some good answers. You know, he's a funny guy.
Oh, funny guy. Very funny guy. A lot of laughs with Doug over the years. I can't wait to see that 60 seconds or less. Speaking of 60 seconds or less, that was a real good one you did with Miles Heffernan.
Yeah.
And I hear he has aspirations to lead the country.
He does. He does. That was a little bit of a sneak peek on Miles there for 60 seconds or less. And, his last answer, I asked him, what would he be doing, or what would his dream job be if he wasn't training and driving horses? And Miles said he'd like to be prime minister. So I thought that was a pretty clever answer from a pretty clever guy.
And he had it ready to go.
He sure did. He shocked me.
So-
Kurt, he could have said 5,000 other things. I wasn't ready for prime minister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, looking forward to it. We had some fun last year with those segments with the drivers. And again, we talked to 12 different people involved in the game this year, some trainers and some drivers as well. And we'll be playing those during the season. Set 16, that was Dusty Lane Weave, Lenny Myers, Mal Barker, Dougie McGregor.
Yeah, Dusty Lane Wee looked good there. 2-year-old filly by E.L. Rocket for Lenny Myers in the front end. Those two seem to be minding their manners, doing it incredibly easy.
So one more set to go here, and it will be set 17, Woodmere Kennedy, Mike McGuigan, and Check Your Beauty for Glenn Dunn as we wrap up a beautiful Saturday morning here. It's been terrific breakfast with the babies as we tee up the race season on PEI. We'll have qualifiers next Saturday and Sunday. Saturday here in Charlottetown, Sunday in Summerside, and then we race on May the 6th here in Charlottetown. Okay, like we said, set 17 is just stepping onto the track here now, so we'll pick them up in just a second. As we welcome you back in here today, Kurt, it's really what I think is a beautiful way to start the season. We're getting a look at these young horses. It's a beautiful day. Kurt, I drove in here about 7:30 this morning. I thought, I'll be on the early side, like to get here. I'm telling you, Stretch Drive was already packed. The bottom end of the parking lot was packed. People were on the fence. This is how excited people are for the race season to get going here.
Yeah, they sure are, and they love to get a look at the young ones. A lot of railbirds there, like you mentioned. They like to get a look at the rail ones there, and there's usually some commentary on Railbird Row.
Yes, there
and
is.
Usually holding court and doing a lot of the chatter is Barney McGuigan.
Okay,
Barney
yes.
McGuigan's
Well, he's
usually
got
keep
experience.
people
We know
on a
that.
Sunday. Yeah, that's right. And usually he and Brenda are there watching Mike do his thing with the babies, and Barney keeps everybody live and chipper. He's a funny guy.
Oh, yes. Great guy, Bernie. Looking forward to talking to him again this year. Kurt, just an overall view on your take this morning on what you saw. To me, some beautiful-looking animals on the racetrack.
A lot of professionalism from the young ones. As I mentioned there earlier, these babies nowadays, with the breed here in the Maritimes, it's gotten so great that they just, when they hit the ground, they're ready. Let me put the harness on. Let's go. Let's get at it. And they just seem from the day one that they know what they're doing. They know what their job is.
Yeah, look terrific. Again, kudos to everybody on the training side. Of course, the people who look after the horses every day, the drivers who were out here this morning. Kurt, it takes a lot of work to get these horses to the racetrack, and for us to be able to talk about them, we got to salute the folks that get them ready.
Yeah, they get them ready, and they're here in the cold days in January, and now they're getting to see what all their hard work is starting to pay off and see them perform out on the track. So it's been a great morning. They've kept us on our toes here this morning, Peter. I had a lot of things written down here about siblings and a lot of notes, but I haven't been able to get to a lot of it the way they've been reeling them off here this morning.
I'm agreeing with you. I had a bunch of notes as well. I looked up some horses last night, was trying to jam them in, but you know what? Kudos to the guys. Everybody was sharp and on the track and ready to roll.
Yeah.
And we've got set 17 coming next. Kurt, you're going to be back on track. Looking forward to seeing you in person and working with you again this year. Of course, Rocky Skierman will be joining us. Lee Drake as well. We'll have Kenny Workington, Vance Cameron's back. All our crew up and down. Going to be a great season, Kurt.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. Let's go back to the track, and we'll wrap it up here with set 17. Okay, set 17, and here it is. It's the final one of the day. Woodmere Kennedy here, the 2-year-old filly by Rolf the Terry. Mike Pollard is the owner. Woodmere Farms, the breeder. Mike McGuigan, the trainer. And Kurt, we mentioned a little bit earlier, this was the sale topper at the Atlantic Classic sale last year.
Yeah, sale topper for $43,000 last year. Woodmere Kennedy. Roll with it. Harry filly is a sister to recent 152 winner, Woodmere Fenn. So I'm excited to see Woodmere Kennedy here this morning on the track for Mike.
Yeah, that's the 1, and the 2 will be Check Your Beauty here. Is a 2-year-old filly by Arthur Blue Chip. Jamie Whalen from Vernon Bridge is the owner. Jamie also did the breeding. Mike McGuigan is the trainer on the 2 for Check Your Beauty and Glen Dunn.
Yeah, sister to Check Your Source.
So we'll let them line up, and once they're off, Kurt and I will pick up the commentary and wrap up a beautiful Saturday morning here at Red Shores in Charlottetown with breakfast with the babies. Also have some more winners on the owner's side here as well. If you heard your name, you can come see me here at the broadcast desk, or you can pick up your prize next week in the race office. Mike May is the winner here, Josh McDonald as well, Kent Williams, Doug Matheson, Brian Foley, Tricia McGregor, and Mike Pollard. You're all winners today as part of the ownership groups here with Breakfast with the Babies. Again, you can see me at the broadcast desk for your prize, or pick them up next week in the race office. So again, set 17 just around the corner here, Kurt, as we wrap up a beautiful Saturday morning here at Red Shores. And Kurt, we just touched on it, but again, going to be a lot of great racing on the island this year. We've got the Governor's Plate coming on July the 15th. The Gold Cup will be August the 19th this year, and I think you're going to see a lot of people heading towards the island to watch harness racing on Prince Edward Island.
Oh yeah, everybody coming out of COVID and everybody wanting to travel more. It just kind of puts things in perspective during all that COVID stuff. So I think people are really getting out and going, and it showed in the crowd last year. I mean, they were elbow to elbow last year to watch the big race, watch Anthony win with Sintra there.
Yeah.
The crowds were back. The buzz was in the air. It was just electric.
It really was. When we looked around last year, you kind of forgot because, the previous couple of years, like you said, due to COVID, there was less people here. But last year it felt really good, Kurt. You looked around the grandstand and all around the fencing at Red Shores in Charlottetown, there were people everywhere, and it was real again for Gold Cup and Saucer. And it'll be the same this year. Looking forward to seeing everybody at the track in Summerside in Charlottetown. As we get set here for set 17, the 1 is Woodmere Kennedy, Mike McGuigan. The 2 is Check Your Beauty, Glen Dunn. We'll pick them up in just a moment.
The one on the outside is the sail topper, Woodmere Kennedy, owned by Mike Pollard. Mike, great guy. He got into the business there with Ronnie and Jackie Matheson owning a couple of aged horses there. I remember, I think Balanchine might have been one of them, a classy campaigner. Click K,
Yes.
I think, was another one that he had. And so he kind of got his feet wet with some classy campaigners. They made a ton of money in their racing career and kind of got him into the sport, and he loves it. And I talked to him there back when I was going in there weekly to the track, and he'd be up there at the top of the park. We'd have some conversations, and yeah, he just loves the sport, and he's gotten into the yearlings, and he's had success with the yearlings as well. And he's got a real nice looking filly here by Roll With It Harry on the front end for Mike.
Yeah, Mike just cleared up with Woodmere Kennedy, and you've got the Check Your Beauty in the 2-hole for Glenn Dunn. Jamie Whalen owns and breeds Check Your Beauty, as you can see the one on the front, the 2 in the 2-hole.
Yeah, and Jamie and Janice Whalen, another great family into the business, and they've been doing great things with Mike, and we already mentioned there earlier. They had that great success with getting Messi, and he's just been a great owner for Mike over the years, and he loves the sport as well.
Both of these guys do, yeah. Like you mentioned, Jamie Whalen and Mike Pollard, both great owners for Mike McGuigan.
These two look very mature on the track.
They sure do.
The one on the front, a real good, a nice size for Roll With It Harry. Woodmere Sky Roller, that filly that I was mentioning earlier, she was a nice big filly too by Roll With It Harry.
Yeah,
and,
she was.
Woodmere Kennedy is a nice big filly here on the track.
Yeah, for 2, she looks a good size already, eh?
And the black filly by Arthur Blue Chip in the 2-hole kind of reminds me of our girl Annie, who was a top filly last year. She looks good on the track here for Glenn Dunn, sitting in the 2-hole here. These are some nice 2-year-olds here as we get to see them here in the last 1/8 of the mile. Glenn's filly, beautiful gait. She's a small filly, but a real nice gait here. She's going to make her way here on the outside. Glenn had to fetch her up just a little bit there. She was getting a little steppy. But these two look good getting to the wire. Mike, a few tippy taps. They look good crossing the line here.
That's tight on the wire. Really nice way to end
Right
it
on
here.
the wire.
Yeah, very tight.
I think Glenn got the job done.
He might have nipped him late. I'm not sure, but great way to finish off a beautiful Saturday morning with breakfast with the babies. And Kurt, just one more time, we got to say thank you to everybody that got the horses ready today, and the trainers, the drivers, the Red Shores staff, everybody here for putting on breakfast with the babies. Another great success.
Absolutely. Very successful. Smooth all morning. Kudos to the trainers and grooms, the grooms especially, getting all these babies ready and getting them rolled out on time. They've kept us on our toes, and it was a great morning watching the babies for sure.
Yeah, it's great working with you, Kurt. We'll see you soon at the racetrack. Just a note for race fans: the qualifiers will be broadcast next Saturday. The qualifiers Saturday in Charlottetown, Sunday in Summerside. They'll both be broadcast, and then of course we're back live at Red Shores in Charlottetown for racing on Saturday, May the 6th. So great! Thank you for joining us again this morning. We'll see you next time.